There is a dirty secret in the automotive industry right now. Manufacturers are designing engines that are mathematically guaranteed to fail the moment your warranty expires. I'm not talking about a bad alternator or a water pump. I am talking about catastrophic engine failure. The kind of failure where a piston shoots through the hood, oil catches fire, and your $20,000 investment becomes a piece of scrap metal worth $500. We are going to look at the 7 most popular engines sold today. Engines found in millions of Fords, Hyundais, and Nissans that have fatal engineering flaws. If you are buying a used car in 2026, you need to memorize this list because buying one of these engines is financial suicide. Let's start with an engineering decision so stupid it feels like a prank. The Ford 1.0-liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder. You will find this engine in the Ford EcoSport, the Focus, and the Fiesta. For 100 years, automakers put the timing belt on the outside of the engine to keep it dry. But Ford engineers decided, let's put the rubber belt inside the engine, soaking in boiling hot oil. They called it the wet belt system. They claimed it reduced friction and noise, but here's the reality. Over time, the hot oil attacks the rubber belt. The belt begins to degrade and shed tiny pieces of rubber. These rubber crumbs fall into the oil pan and get sucked up into the oil pickup screen. Eventually, the screen gets completely clogged. The engine starves of oil, you lose oil pressure, and within seconds, the engine seizes. The repair? You have to replace the entire engine. That costs about $5,000. Considering a used Ford EcoSport is barely worth $6,000, this car is effectively disposable. If you shop for cheap SUVs, you will see thousands of Chevy Equinoxes and GMC Terrains for sale at very low prices. There's a reason nobody keeps them. They are powered by the General Motors 2.4-liter Ecotec 4-cylinder. This engine has a fatal flaw in the piston rings. The rings are supposed to seal the combustion chamber so oil doesn't burn, but GM used low-tension rings that are too weak. This leads to massive oil consumption. We're talking about burning 1 quart of oil every 800 miles. Most drivers don't check their oil that often. So what happens? You drive, the oil level drops, and the timing chain, which relies on oil pressure to stay tight, becomes loose. The chain starts slapping around, breaks the plastic guides, and jumps time. The piston smashes into the valves, and the engine is destroyed. GM actually lost a class action lawsuit over this, but that won't help you if you buy one used today. If it's a 2.4-liter Ecotec, walk away. Nissan was struggling, so they tried to innovate their way out of trouble with the VC Turbo, or Variable Compression Turbo. Found in the newer Nissan Rogue and Altima, this engine can physically change the height of its pistons while you're driving on the highway. It is an engineering marvel. It is also a reliability nightmare. To make this work, they added a complex system of multi-links and actuators inside the crankcase. The problem is friction. The main bearings in this engine are under immense stress. The NHTSA, the government safety agency, has opened an investigation because these engines are seizing up and losing power at highway speeds. When you buy a family SUV, you want simple, you want boring. You do not want a complex science experiment with hundreds of extra moving parts that can fail. This engine is too smart for its own good. If you are looking at a Jeep Wrangler, a Ram 1500, or a Dodge Grand Caravan made between 2011 and 2016, you need to open the hood and listen. Do you hear a tick, tick, tick sound coming from the top of the engine? That is the sound of the Pentastar V6 eating itself. These engines use needle bearings inside the rocker arms. These bearings are prone to collapsing. When they collapse, the metal rocker arm starts grinding directly against the camshaft lobe. That ticking sound is metal shaving off metal. Those shavings circulate through your oil, destroying the oil pump and the main bearings. If you catch it early, it's a $1,000 repair. If you ignore the tick, it's a $6,000 engine replacement. If you buy a Pentastar, keep your ears open. People buy BMWs for German precision, but the N20 engine, used in the 328i and 528i from 2011 to 2015, has a pathetic weakness: plastic. The heavy steel timing chain is held in place by timing guides. In the N20, these guides are made of a polycarbonate plastic that breaks down when exposed to heat and oil cycles. Around 70 to 80,000 miles, the plastic becomes brittle and snaps. When it snaps, 2 things happen. First, the plastic debris clogs your oil pickup, starving the engine, and second, the chain blows slack and skips a tooth. Because this is an interference engine, the pistons hit the valves, game over. If you hear a high-pitched whining sound like a remote control car when you accelerate, that is the sound of the chain cutting into the plastic. Stop driving immediately. The Jeep Renegade looks fun and rugged, but if it has the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine, it is a liability. This engine has a defect with the piston oil control rings. It burns oil at a rate that is, frankly, unbelievable. Many owners report the engine shutting off while driving around corners. Why? Because the oil level got so low that the engine safety system killed the power to prevent a fire. Dealerships tried to fix this with software updates that just change how the oil pump works, but you cannot fix a mechanical ring gap with software. Millions of these cars were recalled, but the problem persists. Unless you enjoy checking your dipstick every time you get gas, avoid the Tiger Shark. And number 1 is the undisputed king of failure, the Hyundai and Kia Theta 2 GDI engine. Found in the Sonata, Santa Fe, Optima, and Sportage from 2011 to 2019. This engine has a manufacturing defect where metal debris was left inside the crankshaft during production. This debris blocks oil flow to the connecting rod bearings. This causes the bearings to seize, leading to the infamous rod knock. If you keep driving, the connecting rod will snap and punch a hole through the side of the engine block. Oil sprays onto the hot exhaust, and the car catches fire. Hyundai has had to replace literally millions of these engines. They offer a lifetime warranty if you have the knock sensor update. But do you really want to drive a car that might leave you stranded on the highway in flames? Just buy a Toyota or Honda instead. Cars are the second biggest purchase of your life. Don't let a bad engine ruin your financial future. If you want to know which cars are actually bulletproof, the ones mechanics buy for themselves, you need to watch this video right here. These cars will run for 500,000 miles. Click right here.